Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Too Many Guys Soccer Show, Lower League Short. It's a busy week here on the channel. This is my personal third appearance this week. But with leagues and tournaments all over the world ending, the Too Many Guys are on it. So if you like what we do on YouTube, like, subscribe, sign up for alerts right below. And if you're listening on a pod, subscribe and download for us. Thank you very much. This week we're wrapping up our lower league season, but before we do, let's go way down the pyramid and congratulate Newport Pagnell Town, the winners of this year's FA Vase for teams from steps 9 and 10 on the English football period. Newport Pagnell play in the United Counties League, Premier Division South. Good year for you, Newport Pagnell, but no promotion. Anyway, we hope to see you in the league one day. And while we're celebrating winners, let's welcome our newest team to the championship, Sunderland. There we go. We get the music going here. All right, Sunderland AFC, with its wonderful melodic balance for chanting, was formed all the way back in 1879 as the Sunderland and District school teacher. And you quickly became giants of the game after you got the teachers back to class. Joining the league in only its third season ever, Sunderland have never left. In fact, they weren't even relegated from the top division for their first 68 years in the league. Yes, you Black Cats, as your name holds, owing to your crest, you were giants. You've won 6 league titles, as in the big one, the league, although that hasn't happened since 1936. But you've also won 2 FA Cups, and your victory over Leeds in 1973 is still regarded as one of the greatest upsets in Cup history. You guys weren't even in the first division the year that you did that. But Sunderland, oh Sunderland, you were relegated for the first time in 1958. In the 80s, you were sent to the third tier for the first time, over 100 years after your founding, but you only spent 1 year there. In fact, it was the only year you ever spent in the third tier, ever, until in 2017 you made a fateful choice. You decided to allow a camera crew full access to what was supposed to be a triumphant return to the Premier League. But instead, we got to watch as it all fell apart. Yes, Sunderland, for only the second time in your history, you found yourself in League One. Then, we all got to watch your triumphant return to the Championship fail in the second season. But Sunderland, you should have let the camera crews back in this year. Because unlike the teams that we watched on television, you went to Wembley and won. Sunderland, you're a proud old side, and I know you feel your place is in the Premier League. But you can't get back to the Premier League if you aren't in the Championship, and as of this Saturday, you are. Cheers, Sunderland, you have been promoted. Just 23 more spots, and you'll be back there in your rightful place. We hope to see great things out of you in the Championship next year. And hey, how about another season of Sunderland till I die? Please? But while we're talking about proud old sides, let's change the music for a second here. Yes, 2 other teams have joined the Championship as well. First up, let's fondly remember original league side Burnley. Burnley, you're founder members of the Football League, and no, you've never left, but you almost did. You see, Burnley, like Sunderland, never played in the third tier of English football until the 80s. But unlike Sunderland, you did not bounce right back. No, it took a last match win to prevent you from falling out of the league entirely in 1987. You were sinking like a stone, but Burnley, it has been better since then. You bounced back quickly, and you got back to the second tier in the 90s. You had a cup of tea in the Premier League in the aughts. And then you got back and stayed up for years against all odds. But hey, it wasn't to be this year. You fired your manager Sean Dyche with just weeks to go in the season, and Everton didn't come around and help you at all. Winning your final match would have kept you up, but you lost. Burnley, you're going back to the Championship, but hey, you've been back before. Burnley, you have been relegated. Also going down this year, we have Watford. Watford, you certainly have Sean Dyche in common with Burnley, and this year, you have relegation in common with them as well. Watford joined the league in 1920, and they haven't left since then. But you really didn't succeed until superfan and rock legend Elton John took over the team in 1975. After that, you made it to the First Division for the first time, and you came in as high as second in 1982. But since then, you've been up and down and down and up. But you Hornets spent a lot of the time at the teens and the 20s in the Premier League. Before bouncing down last time, you stopped Liverpool's record unbeaten streak. Quite shockingly, because you were relegated that year. But this year, unfortunately, you were only 1 point better than Norwich, and they were awful. Watford, you have been relegated. But hey, Elton John is still around. Welcome back to our lower league report. We hope you do well in the Championship next year. All right, well, that music wasn't as sad as I wanted to, and I love doing the eulogies, but two more sides are going to get the celebrations next week, and we have two big matches at Wembley this weekend with promotion on the line, including the world's richest game, the Championship Promotion Final. Now, we talked on the main program about this game, both games really, but I just want to go into a little more detail about why I think Huddersfield are going to win. And I think it's going to be 1-0. First, and thanks to Byron Robb from the program for this stat, Huddersfield haven't lost since March 19th, and that was to Bournemouth, who are already promoted. They're riding their hot hand right now, and they've been doing so using three at the back. Now, Forest and Huddersfield have played 3 times this year, and one of those times was in the FA Cup. In the Cup, Huddersfield went largely negative with 5 at the back, and they lost. The first match that these two sides played this season, Huddersfield went with 4 at the back and more of an attacking presence. I'd like to think that manager Carlos Corberán has gotten the balance down here. They played 3 at the back when they won against Forest in December, and like I mentioned, that's what's working for them now. Huddersfield are never going to light up a scoreboard. So if the goals are coming early and often, it's definitely going to be bad for Huddersfield. However, it's a Wembley final. It's always tense. And I think that that is a plus to a team that is not going to score a lot. So, I mean, listen to me. If you're a Forest fan, you've got plenty of reasons to be optimistic. You have already beaten Huddersfield twice this year, including in a one-off winner-take-all cup match. You've got the most talented player on the field in Brennan Johnson. He had 18 goals and 10 assists this year in the league. And you were really, really close to being automatically promoted. And that would have been for the first time this whole millennium. But I don't like the youth that's in this side in a final. And Forest's form, as I mentioned on the show, has been suspect since they were denied the automatic promotion opportunity by Bournemouth. Listen, if Forest wins, it's a remarkable turnaround for a side that only took 1 point in their first 6 matches. But even if they don't, I think that manager Steve Cooper and his side have got a lot to be proud of. Either way, it's going to be a great match. That final will be 11:30 Eastern on Sunday on ESPN Plus. For the record, the bookies think I'm crazy. They've got Forest at 23-20 with Huddersfield at 5-2. So just to compare, if you took a 20-pound bet, you'd get 23 if you took Forest and 50 if you took Huddersfield. So the odds are long, but I'm sticking with my call. It's Huddersfield. Saturday at 10, also on ESPN Plus, we have the League Two promotion final, and the sum for winning that game is significantly less than the £135 million that Sunday's winner will enjoy. In this match, we've got Port Vale taking on Mansfield Town. Mansfield Town having reached the final by beating the top seed in the semifinal, Northampton. And Northampton were only in the playoffs because Bristol Rovers won by 7 on the final day. So Mansfield are in great form, ending the season with a draw against league champions Forest Green, and then outright winning both legs of their semifinal. Really, though, that doesn't even begin to tell the tale of how their season has gone. This was a team that got off to a very slow start, and by match week 14, they had actually fallen into the relegation zone, which, if you remember in League Two, is out of the league. But they turned it around, moving up the table and eventually getting up as high as fourth. Now, they're going to roll out a 4-4-2 diamond, which, as a Philadelphia Union supporter, I appreciate. And as I mentioned in the main show, they're going to have a big goal scoring threat in Reese Oakes. And they also have Sam Hoskins, their top scorer on the year. Those are two players to watch out for. Meanwhile, Port Vale was pretty consistently around the playoff spots this year. And although it looked for a little while like they were going to get automatic promotion, unfortunately for them, they're going to have to go through Wembley on Saturday if they want to go up to League One. But will they? I don't know. As I mentioned on the main show, the bookies have this one listed very evenly. Port Vale comes in having barely survived their semifinal, missing 2 of their first 3 penalties, which that's not good. And also, they were in penalties. However, they did make it to Wembley, and now they'll be looking for another goal from James Wilson, who scored in both legs of the semi. Interestingly, they typically play 3 at the back, so it'll be interesting to see how that matches up with the 4-4-2 diamond of Mansfield. Mansfield will switch it up occasionally and play 3 up front, but they didn't in their first 2 matches against Port Vale, one of which Port Vale won, the other was a draw. I think that matchup means goals. Although I do think that we go to extra time here, 2-2. I think Mansfield come in with the better momentum. Port Vale lost 3 of their last 4 matches before the playoffs and just barely squeaked into the final. I will take Mansfield 3-2 AET after extra time. So anyway, it's going to be a great weekend of lower league football at Wembley, both for League Two on Saturday and the championship on Sunday. So that's all I've got today, but for the Too Many Guys Soccer Show, this is Chelsea Mike, signing off, rip-roaring and ready for playoff finals at Wembley. As always, we'll try to do better next time.